Here's how you can change your notification text for Moodle. This particular notification is for a assignment submission. Normally it has the student's full name, the name of the assignment, and the date and time, and also the URL. I'd like to edit this so that the username of the student appears alongside the student's full name. I think that'd be really useful to have from an admin point of view. Teachers may need to refer to that username in their paperwork that they have to do. So here's how to change it. I'm going to go over to Moodle, Site Administration, scroll down on General, Language Customization, choose the language pack and open it for editing. Then we need to find where that text comes from. So what I could do is I could search for just a portion of this, like has updated there. And I can type that in here. Only strings containing has updated there. And then I just need to select the components that I want to search through. If you're not sure where it's coming from, just select them all. I can hold the Shift key and click to get a whole selection. And then show strings. It's found the strings and it tells me that it comes from the mod assign component. And we've got 3 different versions of that text. Standard text is the default text, and then local customization is what we want to change it to. So I've just copied and pasted the standard text, and then I'm going to modify it. Right now you can see it has $A username. That's actually the student's full name. It's got $A assignment to get the assignment name. And it's got $A time updated as well as the URL at the end. So those are variables that are being used to pull that information in dynamically. I'd like to have one for the username. It's already got username, and I'd prefer it if it was full name instead of username. We're going to have to change the Moodle code to be able to do what I want to do. If you're simply just changing the words in the message, well, that's easier to do. Just feel free to change the language there. But if you want to work with information and be able to pull information in dynamically, then we need to use variables like this. And there isn't one that I can use right now for the actual username. So let's go into the Moodle server and locate the file where that text comes from, or where the notification is built. This will depend on what operating system you're using and where you have installed your Moodle files. I'm going to go to Moodle and then mod and then the assign folder. And in this assign folder, we'll have locallib.php. That's the file that we need to edit. So I'm just going to edit that one with nano. Make sure you make a backup of this file. Just make a copy of it before you go changing it so that you can revert back just in case anything does go wrong. But this is a pretty simple change that we're making. I'm going to go to line 6507. And it's important to note that I'm using Moodle 5.0.1. It could be a bit different for you if you're using a different version of Moodle. So I can't guarantee that this will work 100%, but I also don't see why it wouldn't. It's pretty simple what we're about to do here. You want to find this line. It's part of the code that has info, username, core user, get full name. This is how the notification text is getting the user's full name. And you can think of this $info as the $A in our language customization. and then username is what we're referring to in that language customization. I'm going to change it to full name, so it's a bit more obvious what it is. But that means I'm going to have to go in here and just change that to full name. Right, now we need the actual username. So to get that, we're going to have to add a line of code here because there isn't currently a variable that's storing the username for us to use in our language customization. I'm going to go down below one line and indent this code the same way the one above it has been indented. We're using the info object, and then we're creating the name for the variable. I'm going to go with username equals, and then we'll use the user from object. This object's being used on the lines above, you'll see. This is where we'll get the username from. And the variable for that is username as well. And that's all we need. So now that we have this info object storing the username, we'll be able to refer to that in the language customization here. So I'm going to put in curly bracket, $A, and then that arrow, username, and then end it with a curly bracket there. I'll just put in a space to separate the username from the full name there. And that should be perfect. I'll save the code. Actually, maybe I'll even add a little comment here just to explain that I've changed that. All right, Control S to save it, Control X to exit. There's no need to reboot the Moodle server either. It'll work straight away. These other two versions here are for showing the notification in the Moodle site. And it could also be used for the subject of the email here. If I look at the email notification, it has a shortened version of that notification text. So that's what that one is for. And then the last one is for plain text HTML, plain text email notifications if you're using plain text instead of HTML email notifications. I'd like to change all of them. So I'm just going to grab the standard text there and make the same change. All right, now we're ready to save it. Apply changes and, save changes to the language pack. Continue. And the teacher has received a notification that has the student's username, which is that number there, right next to the student's full name. And we'll also see the same thing if we have a look at the web notifications. There's the student's username next to the full name there.